The Rock is celebrating the 25th anniversary of his debut this month. WWE has had various programs to celebrate this momentous occasion, but Seth Rollins doesn't seem to be in the mood to join in with the celebrations. The Rock made his WWE debut way back in 1996 at the Survivor Series pay-per-view. He debuted as Rocky Maivia on an episode of Raw on November 4th, and later that month wrestled for the first time in WWE at Survivor Series. Seth Rollins posted a screen grab of the Shield attacking The Rock in 2013, with the hashtag #Rock25 added to the tweet. Rollins, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose acted as CM Punk's henchmen back in 2013. Ahead of Punk's high-profile match against The Rock at Royal Rumble 2013, the trio ambushed the Great One in the ring. This led to Vince McMahon adding a stipulation to the match wherein Punk would have to relinquish the WWE Championship if the Shield got involved in the match. The Rock hasn't stepped into the squared circle since his match with Eric Rowan at WrestleMania 32 in 2016. That match was a letdown for many fans and wouldn't be the right way to end a legendary career. He recently discussed a possible final match in WWE. "I don't know if I have another title run, considering I'm the People's Champion, but I don't know if it's another title run. I think possibly, there might be another match down the road. It would have to make sense," said The Rock. The Rock and Reigns could possibly meet at WrestleMania 39 in 2022, which is set to take place in Hollywood. Becky Lynch has opened up about her relationship with a bunch of superstars who were recently let go by WWE. Lynch had a chat with Ariel Helwani on the latest edition of MMA Hour. The Raw Women's Champion was asked about WWE recently releasing a string of superstars and her thoughts about the same. The man stated that she was sad to see them go as she's very close to some of them. Check out the full comments. "Yeah, there's some. I'm very close with the Iconics. I'm very close with Lana. There's a few that I was very sad to see go. You see each other more than you see family. Luckily, my family is all with me. But I see them more than my actual family, so, when they're gone, that's a huge void," said Becky Lynch. Lana was released by WWE earlier this year, and so were the Iconics. The former had been a mainstay on the roster for years on end. She never made it to the top of the women's division, but was quite popular among the WWE universe. Lana has opened up about her admiration towards Becky Lynch on several occasions in the past. "I get texts from her saying I'm so proud of you. She texts me every single week. I'm so thankful for that because when this whole pandemic started, I remember being so discouraged and I remember her telling me you're so strong. You're such a strong woman. Now you've got to be who you are, keep on carrying this, keep working hard, harder than anyone else so we can bring the people back that we love so much, and I remember those words," said Lana about Becky Lynch. WWE has received major backlash from fans in the recent past for letting go of promising talent. Superstars like Keith Lee, Bray Wyatt, Aleister Black, and many more are no longer with the company. Many have secured spots for themselves elsewhere, and have bright futures ahead of them outside the WWE umbrella. Which WWE release this year affected you the most as an ardent fan? Bobby Lashley said the reason he hasn't faced Brock Lesnar is that the Beast Incarnate's people don't want it to happen. The Almighty has been vocal about facing Brock Lesnar, and the higher-ups reportedly had plans to make it happen, but nothing ever materialized. Lesnar is currently involved in a program with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, and it's rumored he'll face the Tribal Chief at WrestleMania 38. During a recent interaction with Josh Martinez, Bobby Lashley said he's ready and prepared for a match with the Beast. He believes he knows why the bout hasn't happened yet. Because the people around him don't want to make it happen. "I'm always prepared. I am in my final run. I have a few years left, but I am open for anything. I train. I'm always in shape. I'm always ready to go. So, it's never something where you have to call me up and you have to wait months and weeks. I am ready to go right now." MVP has played a significant role in Bobby Lashley's rise to the top in WWE. The former United States champion is the perfect mouthpiece for the Almighty. They formed the Hurt Business along with Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, which became a fan-favorite stable despite being heels. The Almighty shared how his career has changed with MVP in his corner. "I came up with something before that I actually wanted to do myself, but after talking with MVP and him coming back, I was like, man, you know what, this might be something better for you. I still have a lot more in the tank, so let's start running together." MVP is one of those guys where, one of my favorite quotes, "Sometimes you have to believe in someone else's belief in you." I think that is the biggest thing that MVP brought to the table with the Hurt Business. Because, not only myself but Shelton and Cedric, he really brought out their full potential. He got those guys the tag titles, and he got me a world title. It's cool to make money and work with your friends, that's what we are able to do. Bobby Lashley added that he thinks they still have another title run left in them. "I think those times are going to keep rolling. I think we have so much more to go. I think we have another title run, and another main event, and a lot of things to go, so MVP is my dude." Bobby Lashley is set to compete at WWE Survivor Series this Sunday. He will represent Team Raw in the 5-on-5 elimination match against Team SmackDown in the battle for brand supremacy. Paul Heyman is widely respected in the wrestling business for his trailblazing contributions, and he unsurprisingly even has admirers in AEW. During the latest episode of Grilling JR, Jim Ross opened up about his relationship with Paul Heyman and had some major praise for the WWE manager. As we had previously reported, Jim Ross felt that Paul Heyman's backstage problems in the WWE in 2001 could have affected RVD's early growth in the company. JR continued to talk about how Paul Heyman was backstage and felt that the WWE veteran was really persistent while selling a pitch to other executives. Calling Paul Heyman a difference maker, Jim Ross stated that he is still friends with Paul Heyman and was happy to see his former commentary partner succeed in the WWE. He can be dogged. He could be a great salesman, laughs, yeah he is. Look at him now. He is the difference maker in WWE and I'm happy for him. He is still a friend of mine. He has always been a friend of mine, Jim Ross revealed. Paul Heyman and Jim Ross had a brief yet memorable spell as a two-person commentary team in the WWE. Paul Heyman got the best out of Jim Ross when they worked together, and the AEW announcer added that he thoroughly enjoyed sharing the mic with his former colleague. We argued like cats and dogs, but you know, so what, I thought we had a good team. I thought he and I did well together. I enjoyed working with him because he generally would figure out a way to piss me off, and when he did, I would be Retta JR before Retta JR was making hot sauce, admitted Jim Ross. Paul Heyman is known for being an advocate for wrestlers behind the scenes, and Jim Ross mentioned that Roman Reigns' manager could sometimes come across as abrasive. Paul could be very abrasive if he had the audience to be abrasive in front of, and he is also very cerebral because he is so goddamn smart. And I'm not saying that in a fictitious way, he really is, JR added. Paul Heyman has worked his way up in wrestling since 1987, and it's astonishing when you realize that he is still at the top of his game in the WWE. Heyman, however, has had his fair share of backstage troubles in WWE and might have been indirectly responsible for the company changing a match's finish involving The Undertaker. Roman Reigns' long-awaited dream match with The Rock continues to be one of the most significant talking points in wrestling. During his recent high-profile appearance on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, Reigns addressed the possibility of facing his illustrious cousin. Jimmy Fallon also brought up speculation regarding The Rock's appearance at Survivor Series to celebrate the 25th anniversary of his WWE debut. Roman Reigns didn't take the bait and said he was not aware of the rumors surrounding the Brahma Bull's return. These are rumors, you're saying? I have not heard these rumors, and I would think I'm closer than anybody at this point, so, I don't know. It's not what I've heard. I also debuted at Survivor Series as well, so there is a nice little tie in there, but I don't know, said Roman Reigns. While Roman Reigns is willing to step into the ring with The Rock, the reigning Universal Champion wasn't sure whether Dwayne Johnson was up for the challenge. WWE's Tribal Chief reminded Jimmy Fallon and all viewers that wrestling was a family business for the Samoans as they settled all their differences inside the squared circle. Reigns had some memorable battles with Jay during the early stages of his historic title reign. He would have no problem wrestling the Great One if the opportunity presented itself. I would, yes, I don't know if he wants it, but that's kind of something we do in our family as far as sports entertainment, professional wrestling, WWE. This is our platform, this is our family business. I fought one of my cousins, the Usos, Jay, you know, about a year ago, and we're better to kind of solve problems than in the squared circle, you know, in the WWE ring, revealed Roman Reigns. Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast was the first to report earlier in the year about WWE's plans to get The Rock at the upcoming Survivor Series pay-per-view. The idea was to begin building up towards a big money match between The Rock and Roman Reigns for next year's WrestleMania 38. However, several backstage reports have since hinted towards a change in WWE's creative direction, and Roman Reigns could end up having another rematch with Brock Lesnar in 2022. The Rock vs. Roman Reigns is still expected to happen somewhere down the line, and we're sure a majority of fans are eagerly waiting for the showdown. Are you one of them? How would you book the massive storyline? Let us know in the comments section.